Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, YouTube subscribers, JSnip4 here with a very, very special guest. It's not every day that Cliff High sends me an email. Joe, you need to talk to this person. Get him on your show. Remote viewer extraordinaire, I will say. His name is Dick Allgire, and he is currently out of Hawaii. And I guess kind of a side thing you do, right? Like a remote viewing's a side thing you
Yeah,
kind of do.
yeah. It's a hobby. Well,
Kind of a hobby
actually, I guess you could say I'm a professional remote viewer because I've done
for so
I've
long.
done published work for money. I get paid for
Okay.
sessions, so yeah, and they get sold. So it started as a hobby, but it's semi-professional. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were just chatting a minute ago, and I said, I've seen the video. He has it on YouTube. It's been there for a while. You guys probably all remember the Orlando Pulse nightclub incident, Florida, and it was about a month prior to that happening. He did an unbelievable remote viewing session with details that I'm telling you now, will blow your mind. Unbelievable drawings, the cop cars, the lights, the people, the fear, everything you would. I mean, it was just. I just saw the thing. I'm like, God, this is unbelievable. Um, I think he also didn't we the Japan quake tsunami thing. You want to talk
Yeah,
about that one for a second?
yeah, I saw that. Let me tell you, for those of you that aren't familiar with remote viewing, I'll tell you a little bit about myself and about remote viewing. I was a television newscaster in Hawaii here for 25 years. I had a 38-year career in broadcasting. And I used to drive home over the island late at night after the 10 o'clock news. I was the news anchor at the ABC affiliate, and I would listen to the Art Bell show. And Art Bell had a guest on talking about remote viewing. And I thought, wow, if that's true, that's really something. So I started looking into it. I read Courtney Brown's book, which was big at the time, Cosmic Voyage. I met Ed Dames. Ed Dames came here, and I actually spent some time with him. Uh, David Morehouse, haven't met him, but studied his work. Met Paul Smith, all the viewers, and took some classes. And then we discovered that there was a former Special Forces remote viewer here in Hawaii that was teaching it for free. And I hooked up with him, and I trained for almost 2 decades at no charge and just soaked up everything I could learn. And remote viewing is real. It's a skill that we all possess. And the military developed ways to teach you how to bring the subconscious awareness out. And it's the most interesting thing I've ever done. So I was working parallel lives at that time. I was a TV newscaster, and I would go cover stories, and then I'd go wait to go on the air. And in my free time, I'd work remote viewing targets as much as I could. So I gained some skill in that. And I started doing work a couple of years ago with Dr. Courtney Brown, which was called the Time Cross Project. And what we wanted to do was demonstrate remote viewing by showing that we could perceive the big news event next month. Like, okay, what's going to happen in June? We'll describe it in May. And that's what I did with Orlando. And that's up online. People can see, if you type in Orlando Massacre, Orlando remote viewing, it's on YouTube. You can see the whole thing. The tsunami one, I was working a verifiable target as a practice target. It's important as a remote viewer that you need to do down-to-earth verifiable targets to keep your skills honed. And I was working one that was just a geological feature. It turned out to be Shipwreck Rock, which is a spine of rock in New Mexico or somewhere. And this is all done blind. You always do work where you're given a random set of letters and numbers. You have no idea what it's going to be. So I'm working this thing. I go, okay, there's a land feature, and I see this mountain, and I say, this is pretty boring. It's rock, it's brown, and it's like I see a spine and cactus, sagebrush, rocks, maybe a river over here, and I wasn't too interested in that. So I sketched that for a couple of pages, and then all of a sudden I saw um, a building with smoke coming out of it. and I looked, and then I saw it was a very distinct square building with smoke billowing out, and I got this sense of poison, like deadly poison. And then I had water coming in. I had like this, it was flooded, and then this building, and I drew that, and I turned in my work, and this was on March 10th.
Oh wow.
2000. What year was that? 2011.
Right.
And I looked.
It wasn't March 11th, I think. Was it the day before?
Well, I did the work on March 10th.
Yeah.
Well, I did the work, and then I turned in my work and got the feedback and saw that it was shipwreck rock, this geological formation. I said, oh man, I was off. I saw that early, but then I went off in this other thing of this building with smoke coming out and the water and tragedy and poison. So forgot about it. And then there was the tsunami happened. And so we started watching the tsunami, and I got called into work. I was a TV news reporter, and it was like all hands on deck. So I went and covered the effects of the tsunami here in Hawaii, and covered that for about, it wasn't until, and we didn't know Fukushima was a problem until much later.
A little bit later,
you know, the first day you didn't know it was a problem. And I had drawn the Fukushima reactor burning exactly, and I didn't know it was a nuclear reactor, because if you say nuclear reactor, you think 3 Mile Island, the one that's hourglass shaped.
Yep.
Like that's a nuclear cooling tower. And I said, well, this is like a cooling tower, but something's happening. But it didn't make sense to me. But then I was watching the news, and I saw the Fukushima, that it was that blue with clouds on it and it had smoke, and that was the symbol of Fukushima's having a problem. And I went, wow, I saw that. And I went and got my sketch, and I had drawn it exactly.
Wow.
Several hours before the earthquake.
So let me ask you, let's go to the Orlando one, for example. Normally I thought, like, someone gives you a number, a target, they know what it is, but you don't, and you got to figure it out. But with Orlando, no one's going to know that to give it to you. So how does that happen? How do you just get
Orlando,
it?
Yeah, Orlando's different. Orlando is not really technically remote viewing by the definition that I go by, because remote viewing has to be done blind. Remote viewing can only work if the viewer has no knowledge of what the target is. Like you say to me, you might get a picture of the Brooklyn Bridge, right?
Okay.
And you know that's what the target is. And you generate a set of random letters and numbers, like you say A1, B2, C3, D4. So this is A1, B2, C3, D4. This is the Brooklyn Bridge. And you write that on it, and you put it in an envelope. You don't tell anybody. And you say to me, here's your target, A1, B2, C3, D4. So I take only those numbers.
And that's it.
So that's it. You have no idea. It could be anything, anywhere. The reason the time crossed, the Orlando, technically wasn't that, because I knew I was going to be remote viewing a news event that would happen the next month. So it's what we call front-loaded.
Okay.
Right. So I knew it was going to be a news event.
But I mean, it could have been any freaking thing. I mean, a news event, you know.
Well, but you know, a news event is probably going to have some human drama, crashes and fires, and so you know, people will look at that and say, well, okay, it was a mass shooting. There's a lot of mass shootings. You have a 1 out of 12 to get that. That's what the skeptics would say. But
any skeptics, let me just say right now, I challenge you to go watch his video, and the incredible detail that he posted will blow your mind. I'm just going to say that because I still remember what I saw. Like, you're practically drawing it out exactly what it was, the size of the building, the shape of the building, where the police were, where everything was. I'm like, holy crap.
I scared myself on that one. I remember I went, because I'm in Hawaii, the time difference is, so I went to bed at like midnight, and Drudge was already saying, oh, there's been a shooting at an Orlando nightclub, mass shooting. And I went, oh God, another one of those. This was the day it happened. And I
thinking that was it yet.
I didn't know that was it. I had this published on YouTube. We put it on YouTube a month earlier. And so I went to bed and I think, oh, that's interesting, mass shooting. And I got up in the morning and I turned on the news and I saw all the police cars, all those lights. And I looked at that and I went, I've seen that. I know what that is. I saw that before.
And you even, when you were talking, you're like, oh, I see this like a news camera on a tripod and they're like filming everything. And all I can think of is there's one particular scene of that event that was blasted all over the news. And I kept asking myself, how the hell did that guy get access to get inside like the roped off zone? But it was a cameraman across the street on the sidewalk, and that's when they were carrying people in front of him and the cameraman's following him around. And I'm like, man, what you described to me when I was watching you draw it, I'm like, holy crap, I think that's the scene. I don't even know if you knew that right now, but for me, I saw that and like, that's the scene. I know that scene.
Yeah, so the day of the event, I watched that and thought, wow, that's what I saw. I knew it was, but we had to wait till the end of the month. The guy that was running the experiment said, don't look at that. Just don't. You're polluting yourself. You got to wait. It's only the first week of June. You got to wait till the end of the month. So then more and more came out, like the name of the guy, the fact that his wife had been involved.
The wife was involved.
Speaking Arabic, and yeah, there was a lot that there was a lot of detail in that one. That was a pretty good one. But you know, Joe, have you ever tried this? Okay, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Have you ever had a moment where you know something that you shouldn't, like someone that you haven't spoken to for 10 years and you that's not in your life, and all of a sudden you think of them like, God, I wonder what this guy's doing, and then he calls you.
Yeah, I've had that.
Okay, that's common. Everybody has it. For me, I was dating a girl in high school, the first girl I ever fell in love with. I'm a young puppy love in high school. I loved this girl.
Yeah.
And it was the parent-teacher, we had a 4-day weekend or something, and I said, what are we going to do? And she said, oh, I've got to go see my grandmother. And oh, okay. And that night I dreamt that I saw her with a guy that I didn't know she knew, a guy from my another social situation. I knew his name. And the next time I saw her, I said, hey, I had a dream that I saw you with this guy. And she said, why do you say that? I said, oh, I had a dream. And she goes, you're toying with me. Why are you saying this? Are you accused? I said, no, I had a dream. And she started crying. She said, I was with him. And so I knew at that point, it's like, what was that? It was just such a strange thing. Like, is that a weird coincidence? Well, we all have these little coincidences. What I was going to say to you was, if you've never tried it, like I could take a picture of something right here, and we won't do it now live on YouTube but if I got you alone in a room and taught you for 10 minutes the way to look, how to look, and how to do it, if you've never tried it, you might amaze yourself.
I would like to do. I'm going to say it on the record now. I would like to do that.
So if I tell you put A1, B2, and put it on a screen in your field of vision up here, and then set your intent that you're going to see that, and then close your eyes and look, and for that long, and then draw it, you'll amaze yourself. It can be done, and that's the basis of it. And you build slowly by that. I'm not going to teach.
Now, do you find that if someone already has a psychic ability, it's better, or they're really good at it, kind of a thing?
Yeah, some natural. I've trained with some natural psychics that just are amazing. There was one woman I worked with who, the problem is, it's a very disciplined, structured thing, and many psychics don't want the discipline. Okay. Like if it would be like if you can pick up a guitar and noodle around by your ear and play a couple chords and have some natural ability to write your own song, and I said to you, no, stop doing that and play this scale, da 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 da, over and over and over again. The natural psychic don't like to do that. But if they do it, then they become stellar, all-star remote viewers. But everybody can do it. What I've found it requires is intelligence, curiosity, and diligence.
Oh.
So, yeah.
I think I have those.
Yeah.
I'd like to. My mom's psychic. My grandma's been psychic. But my
Oh
mom's
well,
she's pretty good.
there you go. Well, I'll
I don't know
send
if it
you a
runs in the
video.
family, but I don't know. I mean, I've had dreams in the past. I remember I worked at this repair shop like in 1996, 7, and it was kind of in the ghetto, so to speak. And I just had a dream that we were going to get robbed at the, like,
Hmm.
they're going to steal something, not like gunpoint. And I already forgot about the dream by the time I woke up. And then I'm at work, and these two guys come up, and hey, I need a price on the alternator for this car. And I'm like, all right, I'll go get a price. So I start to walk into the office, and it hits me, deja vu. Hold on, stop. I turn around.
He's got a
They're already
gun.
running inside to grab something. I'm like, hey, they turn around and run off.
Oh.
That
Yeah.
happened twice in my life, but that was it. That's all I can say ever happened.
Okay. Okay, I'll explain how that works. And this is how Cliff High does his thing. It's how psychics work. It's all related. Remote viewing is different because it is a structured way to do it on demand. Trains yourself to open a pathway. What it is we all have a subconscious awareness. All of us are consciousness is a dimension, like there's time and space, and there's also consciousness throughout the universe. There is a consciousness. And we as human beings are little nodes of this universal consciousness. And we have a brain that acts as like a filter, because if you had all that cosmic consciousness going through your brain at one time, you couldn't function. So we have a physical body. You have eyes and ears that are focused here so that you can see if danger's coming. You can see to walk. You can see to pick fruit off the tree and eat it. And it helps us function in this 3D reality. But we also have a part of us that has that unlimited consciousness, and it leaks through. It's like when you knew the store was going to be robbed, that was your subconscious trying to tell you that. And you can develop ways to tune into that. It's like your YouTube video. When you post this video, someone can take their cursor or their finger, there's a little control at the bottom, and you can move it forward and backwards.
Yeah.
Right? You want to go to the end of the video. Well, everything that happens in our universe is somehow recorded. There's like if I go like that, that's an event, and that's still happening. That's another event. But that first one is still happening over there. You can move the cursor back with your consciousness if you put your awareness to that. And remote viewing teaches you how to do that. I'll give you an introductory lesson. It's
That'll be cool.
really interesting. I've been meaning to teach, but it's a lot of work for both me and the student. I've got a couple students right now that are doing pretty well. So how did you get involved with cryptos? What made you go, oh, okay, this is...
Well, as you've said to me, you've been friends with Cliff. You've known Cliff for a long time, Cliff High, and I followed him from many, many years ago when he was just doing the Alta reports. I think I just started to get involved with actually buying them when he decided to lower the price from like $300 or $350 down to whatever he went down to at the time, $50 or maybe lower, maybe it was $10. And I'm like, all right, but because he'd always post stuff online, and he was friends with a guy named George Ure, and George Ure would post a lot of the stuff, and I'd go to his site to read it. It was just fascinating. And every now and then, after I started buying his reports and stuff, I was real heavy into trying to remember everything in there, and I'd see stuff happening, and I'd have even people on YouTube, even years ago, telling me, Joe, the webbot hit, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're right, and I'd forward it to Cliff, and hey, yeah, and he's like, yep, that old webbot, got it. So we just started chatting and becoming friends and things like that, and I love that guy. I mean, he's such a great guy, and he just starts putting in his reports, hey, these crypto things. But even before that, it was about the year like 2013, and I'm in Florida, and been here practically all my life. Moved from San Diego when I was like 5, I think, and been here forever. So I have this opportunity to move to Tennessee with my boss, and I'm just, for whatever reason, like, I just have to do this. I've got to go to Tennessee. I want to go out there. We lasted about 6 months and came home. But long story short, when I'm out there, people have been asking me, hey, you follow this Bitcoin stuff? Yeah, I know about it, but guys, I don't trust it. It's just, you can't even touch it. You can't even print it. At least $1, fiat or not, you can print the thing, what is this? What backs it? And I'm just like, I don't like it. I'm telling you all to stay away. So a few months goes by, and I'm not, dumb enough to just let it go and that's it. If I need to look back at something, hey, maybe I made a mistake. I'm gonna look at it. So I've been, behind the scenes kind of following this stuff because I'm like, a lot of people are talking about this these days. So I get it back in it. I'm like, I kind of grasp where this thing could go. I think I like this. Actually, I think there's a use case for this. So I'm like, I go and do another video. It's been about a couple months later, 3 months or so. And I'm like, guys, I think I got that wrong. I think I got it wrong. I think we need to pay attention to this Bitcoin stuff. So it was shortly after that I moved back to Florida. Somebody messaged me, Joe, I've got like $5,000 that, to be honest with you, if I lost it, it wouldn't hurt. But I want to do these crypto things. Can you set up a mining rig and we'll just split the crypto we make out of this thing? I'm like, all right. So this would have been around 2014, I think. I think it was 2014. And so I set up this mining rig and all this stuff with the video cards and all this crap to do it. And I got 2 machines going, and it's, burning up my house. It's so freaking hot. So, like all this stuff. But we did it for about 3 months or so, and it became obsolete because the mining gets harder exponentially.
Let me ask you something. When you mined with a home computer, how much Bitcoin did you mine? How much could you generate?
Well, at the time, and it's still the way you do it today too. You don't exactly mine Bitcoin. What you do is you mine the altcoins, and there was websites you could just go to, and it would say, okay, today is the, Feather coin or Litecoin or whatever coin is the best one to mine today. Okay, so I set my 2 rigs to go mine those, and you get those coins essentially, or in my case and everybody else's case, you're joined a pool, a mining pool, so you get a little fair share of the stake, so to speak. And I would take that and then go to an exchange and then flip that for a little fraction of a Bitcoin, and then just keep doing that every day or whatever, every few days.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I got it. But long story short, I was able to generate about, I'd say in the span of about 5 months, because I started a little earlier than this guy with his $5,000, because he wanted to buy all the equipment. He's like, you just deal with it, and I'll buy the stuff. So I'd say in about 4 or 5 months, we got 3 Bitcoin worth. You would never, ever do that today, because it's gotten exponentially harder.
It's the more Bitcoins or the more coins that are made, the more difficult it becomes to mine them. That's part of the
and the more that come out, it gets exponentially harder. But at the same time, a lot of these cryptos, there's, it knows how many different people are mining. So if a whole bunch of people stop mining a particular coin, a lot of times it becomes easier for everybody else. But no one's going to do that, because then, everyone wants to chase profit, so you're never going to find that scenario pop up. But some people do it, and most of the time it's a losing proposition these days. Like 9 times out of 10, it's a losing proposition. You're better off to just say, okay, I've got $5,000 today. Let me dump it into Bitcoin or dump it into some altcoins and just let them ride. Because in 4 or 5 months from now, based off of if I tried to mine, you'd be way better. That's most of the time. There's might be the exception, and there is the exception where somebody in China, or free electricity or damn near free electricity, and whatever, it just works out because they don't hardly have any bills to pay with it, no electric bill really, or so little, doesn't matter. And they've got this enormous mining rig that's, $100,000 worth or whatever it is, and it scrapes every day enough to pay everything for long enough to where it just pays all the cost back of all that equipment, and then usually it goes obsolete. That's usually how it goes. But there's a few, probably very few people out there, but there are some that actually make it work. I'm not one.
Is Bitcoin going to become obsolete? Is there any chance of that? Like, is it like Windows XP? They're going to come out with something newer, faster? Or?
Well, there already are. Litecoin is extremely fast. It's kind of like Bitcoin's little brother, and it's extremely fast. The transactions are very cheap when you do the transactions on the network. They don't, because whenever you send one coin to another, like if I were to send you a Bitcoin or a fraction of a Bitcoin or whatever right now, and then I tried to send the same exact amount dollar-wise of Litecoin to you, there's a little tiny fee that goes to the network that's basically lost forever, you could say. Yeah. And if you compare the price from Bitcoin to Litecoin, Litecoin's like dirt cheap. So it doesn't make sense to be transferring Bitcoin around when you can transfer a bunch of Litecoin around, although Bitcoin has kind of gotten the rap, if you will, of being just a giant store of value, like a big chunk of gold in your house. You're not really trading it in and out. It's just like, let me buy this and let it sit over here because it goes so high in value.
Okay, I'll tell you my short story.
Okay.
Someone told me 7, 8 months ago, cryptocurrency is going to be I have someone who knows how the world works, who's very. I met him because of remote viewing,
Okay.
and he contacted me because of a remote viewing that I had done that he knew to be true. And he also knew that there was no way I could know this other than remote viewing. So it validated me. And he got a hold of me through a third party, and just kind of started educating me about the way the world works. I'm awake. I know. I've been awake for 18 years. Okay. So I know what's going on, but this guy was telling me some really interesting things. And one of the interesting things he told me uh, last summer was get into cryptocurrency, get into Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ripple, a couple of others. And I go, okay, I'm going to do that. So I found out how to get a wallet. I may have actually downloaded a wallet app. Got a hold of Cliff and said, Cliff, how do I get into that? And he sent me some links. And one of the links was Three Amigo, you guys talking. So I
Oh, cool.
watched some of those. It was right over my head. I just didn't understand it. It was for someone who doesn't know anything about cryptocurrency to wade into this is a little difficult.
Yeah.
There's a learning curve. Um, and so I had a trip planned. I had some remote viewing work, and I learned a little bit about it, and I didn't do it. And that was last summer. And then I looked at the
Oh, yeah.
spike. Everybody 13 times their money. If you put $2,000 in, you had $26,000.
Yep.
And I said to my friend, well, I missed that. And he said, no, 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 no. It's not too late. He said it's going to dip in about mid-January, just
When did he say that to you, by the way? That January thing, roughly.
December.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. Um, so I tried. Well, here's the problem. I tried to get on exchanges, Kraken, Coinbase, and because I'm in Hawaii, you can't.
Ah.
Every time I try, I'm like taking a picture of me with my passport and driver's license and uploading it. They go, oh, you're in Hawaii. You can't. You're denied. Like what? Because Hawaii's regulations are so draconian that you can't get on an exchange here. So and I'm trying to figure this out all on my own. And I got onto light or local Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I get an account on local Bitcoin. I go, okay, I want to try to buy some with either PayPal or my credit card. And so I said, buy Bitcoin through Western Union. Okay, so I find a seller who's selling it about 20% above, 20 to 30% above the price. Like if Bitcoin's at 10, they're selling it at 13. And I put a buy order in. And I'm just sweating bullets. I go, God, I don't know what I'm doing here. I felt like a young kid going into the Dodge Saloon in the Wild West, with old grizzled guys drinking whiskey, playing
What,
poker. Like,
what
sure,
day?
son.
What time is this roughly that you're talking now?
Um, January,
This year?
early, yeah, yeah.
You,
This was 2 months ago,
okay.
six
Well,
weeks.
I'm your guy.
Yeah.
I'm your
Okay.
guy. If you need some help, okay?
Okay. So I make a small buy, and I hit buy, and it's with the person selling it is named Martha Leticia Galvez in Colombia. I go, geez, okay, I'm going to do this with somebody in Colombia. I go, man, I am really going to be scammed here. But I was told by someone I trust that I should get this by any means possible. So I hit the button, and it's going through, and she says, okay, you got to send me the Western Union confirmation. Send a screenshot of that, and I'll release the coins. I go, geez, my phone rings. this is your credit card fraud department. We just saw a very questionable transaction to Colombia. I go, yeah, that's me. Do you really want to do that, sir? I don't know. Do I? Yeah. So I go, yeah, I'm doing that through Western Union. And they said, they started asking me all these questions. I said, no, just do it. They said, well, we canceled that one. Do it again. So I got to go back and I have to do another buy, close that buy, do another one, then do another thing. And then it goes through. And I send the woman the transaction verification. And I'm thinking, I've been scammed. Okay, I'm out this money. This isn't going to happen. And lo and behold, my wallet shows point this much Bitcoin. I go, okay, it came. But the $50 transaction fee and the amount of money that they were above, I lost quite a bit. I'm thinking, I don't know about this. So I go, okay, I'll do another buy. And I go to that same seller and they go, okay. And I get on chat and I say, okay, Martha, it's me, Dick again. I'm going to do another one. And they answer back, it's not Martha. This time make it out to Juan Gonzalez. I go, wow, this is a whole different part. I go, this is like a Medellin drug cartel or something, laundering money or
who
what?
knows?
Yeah, so I canceled that one. Then I did another one the next day in Costa Rica. So I got my foot into it. And then I found one that would do it by cash here in Hawaii. So we met at a Starbucks. So I met a seller and I took some $100 bills and they counted them out and I took my laptop. And when I walked into Starbucks, there were like 3 other people in the Starbucks with their screens up and I could see Bitcoin, indexes. Yeah. It was like, that's the new bank as a Starbucks, right? So I got into it that way. And I've Litecoin, Omizago.
Yep, good ones.
I'm trying to learn how to get a Ripple wallet. My wallets won't accept Ripple. I want to get some Ripple. I have a feeling about that one. And so now we get to the point that you want to know about is, well, how can we use remote viewing for this? As I say, remote viewing has to be done blind to be considered real remote viewing. But once you've been doing it a long time, there's a side skill called tagging. And tagging is, I'll tell you, I met a buyer online. The first cash transaction that I wanted to do said, we'll meet at the Safeway in Manoa, which is up the road from me. And I'm thinking, do I want to take cash to like a parking lot and meet someone I've never met? I'm thinking, who is this person? Yeah, I see their screen name. And so I got real quiet for a while and I did some techniques that I know. And I saw an Asian woman in her 50s or early 60s with hair about, let me get this.
Oh, you drew that?
Yeah. And I said, this is a woman who's Asian. She's in her late 50s, early 60s. She's in a white shirt. She's got hair about like this. It's dark, but not real dark. And I drew some of her features. So I said, okay, I will meet you. I'll be the Caucasian guy with a mustache. I used to be on TV. You might recognize me. And the person said, my name's Shirley. I said, okay, Shirley, I'll be there with a computer. So I went up there, and that woman, I don't want to show you her picture, but I'll send it to Cliff. I don't know if I want to publish this, but yeah, it was her. It was her. I saw her. So what I've been thinking about, would it be possible for me to, when coins come out, don't they all, mostly they have a logo, right? They have a graphic artwork. That's something that's possible with remote viewing. Like it would be a hard question to ask a remote viewer. Well, okay, what's the price of Bitcoin going to be on April 1st?
Yeah.
numbers, you can't do numbers in remote viewing. When I am at a location and I see something like a sign with English letters on it, it looks like acrylic. It looks like a garbled language. If I try to read it, I lose the state of mind I need to be in, because your analytical conscious mind takes over. So
Now,
I
when you're
can't.
doing that, do you like that example you just gave? You have a sign and it's got letters or something on it. Are you able to sit there and just stare at it for a while, or is it just, or are you just getting a quick boop boop and it's gone?
Okay, sometimes it's real hazy and it lasts like a second and a half. Sometimes it swims into dim focus. I can see it for like 4 seconds. Um, Occasionally, sometimes I can black out and I awake and I'm there. I worked a target for a project that's for sale by the Farsight Institute, and I knew it was going to be a project, and I told it was like Mystery 17. That's your target ID, Mystery 17. Okay, so I'm going to work Mystery 17. So I get
Now,
ready to
now, let me
remote
stop
view.
you real quick. Is that the same thing as A1, B1, B2?
Yeah,
He just called
yeah.
it Mystery
Well,
17?
actually, I generated. I said, okay, do Mystery 17. So I generated an ID. I go to a random letter. I go to a random number generator and letter generator, and I generate like LQ75 NZ20.
Okay, so they give you the words Mystery 17. You take
Yeah,
Mystery 17, run it into a random number generator,
yeah.
and then you work it that way.
And then I sit there, I write, I use those numbers
Is that
to
because the word mystery, it's too, it might mess,
yeah, see, it's already front loaded to know it's a mystery.
mystery. Okay.
That technically that shouldn't be done, and I have issues with Courtney Brown over that. I should be given it. It should be given by a third party, that so I don't know who it's for. For it to really be legitimate, it should be double blind. Like I get an ID from someone that I don't know who gave it to me. But anyway, in this case, I know it's a mysteries project. I know it's going to be something interesting, and I do my thing, and I blacked out, and then I woke up, and where I was green grass with buildings over here, with the sun was not high in the sky. The sun was a little bit low in the sky. Um, People milling about over here, a road over here with a roadway with some light posts, and I remember it was like I'm right there in full color. I can see the blue sky, I can see the grass, and it's like, okay, I'm here. I need to see something, and I lose it, and I'm all of a sudden sitting at my desk. Oh, okay, I'm remote viewing. So, it turned out that that target was the JFK assassination, and I
Oh,
was in
wow.
Dealey Plaza.
So you went back in time.
Oh yeah, you can go back in time. You go back and forward.
Well,
Yeah.
did you see anything, or that was it? That was,
Well, no, I saw. I had to go back again and again, and I saw. What I saw was I saw the building. There's a building next to Dealey Plaza that's a Gothic building. It's red brick. It's like the old courthouse. I saw this
okay.
building with turrets, and I saw a busy street, and then I saw a bunch of people, and the people were all milling around, and I like I look, and then I get ideas about it. I see it, and then I realize things about it. There's a process where you get a look, and then you do a certain way to probe, where you go, okay, what's happening? And my sense of what's happening was like, okay, these people are all on. They all came here in the middle of the day. Why? It's like a flash mob. That was my concept. It's like a flash mob. They're here, like some of them live here, some of them came from other places, but they all came like, look, and they're lining the street. And then I got a sense of like, well, there's a motorcycle going by and a car, and why are they here? They're here to see somebody famous. And so it's weird how remote viewing. It's like going into a movie theater with blinders on, and then you get to look through a toilet paper tube for one
Yeah,
second,
yeah.
and then look again. So you get this little flash. So I go, okay, it's a city with this big building over here, and there's people standing around. And then Oh, look, there's somebody we came to see. There's a famous person, and then I got a sense of the spook is hurt. The herd is spooked. Like, oh, run! Oh my God, what's going on? What's happening? Oh my God,
Now, are you
type
able
of
to
thing.
tell like, because you know how when you watch movies, you can tell it's an old movie. Are you able to tell like, oh, this is a little bit older time frame when you're looking at it, or not? Not in that case.
Yes, because
Clothing and stuff.
I did another aspect of that target, like who was the planners, and I didn't know it at the time. At the time, I know, okay, here's a man with he's in an office and there's ashtrays and they're smoking. I can smell cigarette smoke, and he's got a phone, and the phone has a rotary dial with buttons on it that you like line one, sir, line two, and a phone that's they used to be made of bakelite. Are you old enough to have used the
No,
old? No, no.
I do remember
Okay.
the rotary dials. We did. I remember those.
Yeah. Well, they used to be black, and they were made of something called bakelite. It was this
Okay.
heavy type of plastic. That's what all phones were. And um, yeah. Oh, there was another time. Oh, uh, I was working that target, and I had a sense of myself being. There was something I can't remember what it was. It's been too many years since I did it. Something gave me a time frame of I'm 10 years old in Birmingham, Michigan. I was in Birmingham, Michigan. I was 10 years old when Kennedy was shot.
Oh,
So I did a three-way triangulation. When you to start remote viewing, it gets really eerie. There's weird stuff that just weird little coincidental stuff and weird things
and you
go.
kind of add them all up to get the bigger picture.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'll show you a little. You have some time to work. You're a man of leisure now because you've
Well,
made money on Bitcoin. You're
I do have a day job still, but recently I was like, guys, I don't want to quit or anything. I like my job here, but like the crypto stuff, there's millions of opportunities that I just can't pass up, and things happening over here in this space. So I'm like, can I work from home Thursday and Friday and give me a VPN phone? And they're like, absolutely. I helped my boss and my the vice president, the CEO, get into this stuff. They're real excited about it, and they understand where this is going to. So, it's always good when you kind of help some people make a couple bucks, and they
yeah.
you got people's best interests in mind and stuff.
Somebody gave me some advice a few months ago and said, buy one Bitcoin for you, one Bitcoin for your wife, put them in a wallet and put them away for
Wow.
for later. That will be your major investment. And then buy one Bitcoin to play with and turn that Ethereum,
Yep.
Litecoin, Ripple, Omisego, and a couple of others. So, okay, I'd have to give. I mean, I could talk for hours on how remote viewing works and how tasking or targeteering works and what are the limits of remote viewing. Like I said, it's impossible for a remote viewer to tell you, okay, what's the price of Bitcoin going to be in April? Um,
What? How would you try to, you know, look for any positive stuff around it? Like, 'cause if you can't get the price, obviously that's the only thing most people care about. What's the price? But
yeah, yeah.
if you can't get the
Okay.
price, I wonder if there's something else you can get that would be just as good, at least. Like,
Well, you could do it like this. Okay. The reason I gave you Orlando as an example was because I did that in April. I did that in early May, and the Orlando event didn't happen until middle of June. So I was able to see that. There's no time in remote viewing. It was in that realm of consciousness. It was happening now. Time is a really hard thing to grasp, but you can flit about in time. So let's say um, I work a target for you. Okay, how can I explain this back? Okay, I did this. I did this once for silver futures. I didn't know I was doing it. some people used remote viewers and they were paying us money. And here's what they did. They would say, work a target for us and turn it in. And if you're successful, we will pay you $200. For every hit you get, $200. So, Dick, you work a target, and if you're right, a check will be in the mail. So I sat down, I generated an ID, and that's all I knew about it. And I worked a target, and I saw a big building.
So let me stop you again. You said you generated an ID. So what did they give you for you to
They
generate?
said,
Just target one or something?
this is target one in our experiment. We need you to give us target one by February 28th.
Okay.
You have it in before February 28th. That's the current target. Task it however you want. So I go, okay, this is the target for these people. I know I have a target, and I generated random letters. NVPQ-LZAT. And I go, that's target one that I've got to have done. So I sit down, I concentrate on that, I draw what I see, and I work for about an hour, and I see a building, and I see a lot of machinery, and I see a smokestack with smoke belching out of it, and big building, a very industrial sense, like a factory or something. I sent that to them. Like a month or two later, they sent me $200. They said, good work. Now work another one. And
So hold on. You send them back a drawing?
I sent them my whole session. I sent them a whole packet of like 12 pages of drawings and sketches and descriptions. I smell smoke. I hear machinery. I have oil and grease. I have noise. I have smoke coming out of a smokestack. A big building with a tall vertical thing in an industrial area with roads around it. And they looked at all that, and what they were doing, they wanted to know like a silver future, like what was this price of silver going to be in 2 months. And what they did was, if the price of silver is going up, the target will be this coal-fired power plant. If the price of silver goes down, the target will be this bunny rabbit sitting by a pond out in the woods.
Okay, so let's go here. This is good stuff. Put me in the shoes of them. What you just described. You create that same target like they just did it. So basically, what you're telling me is, do they have to write it down, or can they just talk about it and say, look, hey, if
no,
they
wrote it down. They wrote it down, but then what they had to physically do was, when they observed the price of silver going up, they looked at that picture of the coal-generated plant, and they said, this is the target. This is the target. And they mailed it to me and said, that's your target. So it closed the loop. There was a feedback, right?
All right.
So I actually got, this is the target I'm going to get in 2 months from now. I don't know anything about anything else. I don't know. All I know is what I saw was a power plant, complex, smoky, big smokestack, smoke belching out, humming, electrical, and I described that. They put the bet on silver. When silver came back, they sent me the target. And they were doing that successfully. The problem was they were making 200,000, but they were paying me 200.
That's messed up, isn't it?
We cut off once we found out what they were doing.
Let me just say that to anybody listening. How dare you, you greedy, rotten bastard. You have a tool like this, and you treat him like a freaking slave.
Well, I'll tell you an inside story. Somebody found out that they were doing, somebody that represented the viewers, who had the viewers' best interest in mind, completely fucked up the whole thing. They didn't make another penny. One of them actually came up to me and said, we had this experiment. It was going really well. And then all of a sudden the results just dropped off. And I went, oh, it's funny how that happens. I wonder why. Yeah, they were abusing the fear. So that's one way. That's called ARV, associative remote viewing. If A happens, the target is this. If B happens, the target is this. And that.
So what would I need to do then? If I was them, and let's just say it was the Dow Jones price that in a month from now, you could kind of do the same thing. I could say, all right, well this cord, I'll just say now, represents the Dow Jones is going to go up, but this little hardware wallet, little Nano Ledger S, speaking of cryptos, this hardware wallet, which anyone listening, if you want to break into my house, there's 0 on this. It's a brand new one. You're not breaking in. This represents Dow Jones going down in March 28th. So what would I do in that case? Do I write this down on paper? Do I just say it out loud to myself and then give you a target number? Do I have to draw it? Do I have to take a picture of it? Like, how does that happen? Look, on my side, what does a person like me do to make that the target and give it to you?
You might want to get a third person who understands remote viewing and understands tasking. What if let's say you're going to do Omizago, because that's one I know of. Somebody gave me some. Okay. Well, what if Omizago just stays flat? Yep. You're asking, so we
do three things.
Yeah.
Up, down, or just
significant,
kind of flat.
down significant, or flat.
I guess I'm just trying to figure out what on my side.
Here's the way. Here I did it in a really complex way with Cliff. Cliff High in 2007 said, we're going to have a big event in 2008. Everything is going to change for a decade after that. Were you around then?
I remember that. I remember that.
Okay. And I remember hearing Cliff High saying that, and I said, okay, that makes sense to me, because I know there is a universal consciousness, a cosmic consciousness. So what I did was I designed a mask target. I did this as an experiment, not to generate money, but just to see if I had the mental prowess to do this. And what I did was I created a fictional place in my mind. I wanted to see, could I create something that was robust enough in consciousness that remote viewers could perceive it? So I made a place called Tanner Dam, and I have a presentation that's out on this. I made up in my mind this man-made lake. It was a earthen-filled dam, 300 feet high. I know the name of the stream. I made up the name of the lake. I had a town below it. I had a farmer who owned the land that they took by eminent domain and made into the lake. I knew there was a marina there. I designed all of this. I had an artist draw it. I went and I paid an artist to make a sketch of this, a painting of this place. And I gave that as the target. But what I entwined in, see, consciousness is so interesting. I did an advanced thing, is if the dam breaks, if the remote viewers see a flood and this water rushing down and the dam breaking, that will mean that the stock market has total collapse and they had to shut down trading.
Now you're not drawing that. You're just, in other words, you could have the whole picture.
I'm saying that if that happens, that's what the viewers will see.
And you just kind of say that to yourselves, amongst yourselves, the ones creating this, basically. So
I did it only in my own mind. I'm the only one who knew this.
But you created it, though, right? You're the one who created it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to know is the stock market going to crash in 2008? So I wrote in a hidden subcue, say, the viewer will see Tanner Dam. If the stock market has a collapse such that trading is suspended, they'll see the dam collapse and all the water run out.
Now, are you writing that down on paper?
Yeah,
or on
I wrote
picture?
that down. I wrote that
separately
down.
On a piece of paper?
Yeah, and I kept that in my mind every day for 6 months.
Okay.
Every day, I appreciated that. I gave it a target ID. I looked at that. What the viewers, they described the dam, and everybody said, downward movement, there's rush. They didn't see it collapse. It was still intact, but they had a sense of things falling, dropping, going down. I took all my money out of the stock market. I called my financial advisor and I said, I want to be in the safest thing possible. I want gold. And he said, are you sure you want to do this? This was summer of before the October crash, like 3 months before. And all my friends were watching the news going, oh my God, my 401k, I just lost half my retirement.
Yeah. Yep.
I said, I'm in gold.
So you gave that to remote viewers to do?
Yeah, I did.
Right, not you, because you weren't
No,
obviously going to remote view your own thing.
I was running the project. So one, there's several ways to do it. You could do it that way. You could do you could give people a target, and they'd say, if the viewers see a lot of people running around, that will mean a lot of activity for this coin.
Yeah.
If they see an open field, it means the coin, nothing happening with the coin.
Now, do you have to draw both of those on a piece of paper?
No, you have to intend it. It's intent. It's very complicated. Or you could do it like you could say, all right, a Go, if Go is just stays the same, flat lines, you're going to remote view a hot dog stand in New York City.
Okay.
If Go goes crazy up, you're going to remote view the Battle of the Bulge. Tanks, bombs flying, cold weather, people dying.
You don't even have to really write it down then, I guess. You could just say that out loud.
No, you have to have it clear in your mind. You should write it down. Or if Go goes down, you will remote view an iceberg in the Antarctic.
Yeah, something just night and day apart.
Totally. Or, something with a lot of machinery and complex shapes and complexity and people, modern noise, or something old, like an old a petroglyph.
Yeah.
Okay. But what you would have to do is you have to then observe Go. And when Go goes up, you have to associate that with that picture and send that back to the viewers and go, this was your target. You can't just say, oh.
You mean after it happens?
After it happens, you've got to physically send it to them and close that loop.
And tell them
so
you got it.
There has to be an event where the viewer does his 12 pages of work and then just forgets about it. And then one day, several months later, he gets an email and opens it up and sees a picture of the nuclear power plant or the Battle of the Bulge. And then they go, oh, okay, yeah, I got the guy shooting the gun, I got the guy shivering in the cold, and I got the tank and that. So that's one way. Now, I did another thing with Cliff, and that was tagging. This is not remote viewing. I did a thing where I know a couple of altcoins. I don't really know much about them. I know there's Litecoin. Ethereum is something else.
Yeah, those two aren't really altcoins either, though. But I understand.
Okay, so I'm not an expert on this. Sure. I don't study them. But I know there's probably a visual representation of. So I sat down and went, okay, I want to see the coin that's going to be the hot one. And should I tell you what it was? I sent it to someone. I said, hey, I saw this. Well, I sent it to Cliff. I said, it looks like strands. And I said, DNA came to my mind. Is there a coin that has something to do with, why would I say DNA for a cryptocurrency? There is one, I was told. So there's that. You could have viewers try to see the the logo of the coin.
How long ago was this?
A
Pretty recent?
month.
Oh, okay.
It's
So
pretty recent.
everybody listening up, JSNIP4 Army, Realist News fans, find the coin and post it. Email me when you find it. Contact me.
Oh, is
Not in
there?
a comment. You have a picture, kind of. Um.
Is there a coin that looks like that?
All right. So you guys see that? You see what he's posting? I'm gonna
Now,
check something.
first one's free, second one's on me, third time you pay. I don't know if I should have put that out on the internet. Okay, it's too late now.
Universe has spoken. Universe wanted you to do it. Let's see. I just want to look at one thing.
Oh, I've got a couple more too, but I'm not going to publicize them.
Yeah, we'll keep those. You can keep those private. But I think you might be about to be taking my YouTube channel to the next level. I think we need to start experimenting on this like yesterday, where I come put up some targets for you, and it's not just gonna be crypto related. Just FYI, it's gonna be
Well,
some other things because I don't want to puddle your mind with
well,
things too. But
you've got to.
I'd
Remote
like to.
viewers are hesitant to do targets for people they don't trust because you're going to send people to a.
I'm
It's
not.
a.
Yeah.
So okay, let me tell you another thing I did,
Well, it's me. It's me and you. And you remember who connected us?
Mr. High.
Mr. High. He told me a
Okay,
long time ago, Joe, Universe loves you. I don't know what you're doing, dude, but Universe likes you a lot. What
okay.
I'm going to tell you
I'll
is,
tell you. I'll tell you a story. My
okay,
wife is my wife is Korean. 안녕하세요. 나이푸는 한국 사람입니다. 한국말로 공부합니다. My I went to the Korean temple with my wife, and I saw a Korean monk, a female monk, across the room, and my psychic remote viewing awareness went bing, 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 and I said, "Who's that lady? That lady there is the powerful one." And my wife went, "She's the fortune teller." You're right. I said, yeah, okay. She's the fortune teller of the temple.
wow.
And that woman did a reading of my wife and said, the money will always follow you, meaning my wife. So yeah, money follows my wife. So my wife gave me the money to get into cryptos a little bit.
Here's what I'm willing
But
to do for fun. This could be really interesting. You don't have to put in anything. I've made a freaking fortune thanks to some of Cliff High's webbot stuff, and then gotten some own coins that I picked that did really, really well. I made a freaking small fortune. I'm willing to put my own money on the line and give you whatever the hell we do, half of it. If
well,
this works
keep in
out.
mind,
If it
keep
doesn't
in
work, it
mind,
doesn't work.
keep in mind, you're seeing my best ever work. That's what we put up, right? I can do a remote viewing tomorrow that is complete crap, totally off. Remote
Yeah.
viewing is not 100%.
I'm willing to
So
give it a
I would
shot.
never claim to. Here's another one I did. Um, I can't publicize. Somebody just made like a $400 million buy a
Yep.
couple weeks ago.
Yep.
You know
Bitcoin, I
who it
think.
is?
I don't remember the person's. No one knew. They just said some mysterious buyer bought $400 million in Bitcoin or something.
Yeah. I drew a guy and said where he was from, and somebody found that guy. I can't say who it is, but
Wow.
I said, that was interesting to me because I was just getting into it. Well, who is this? So, well, I see this. I drew him. I sent it to someone, and they said, that's pretty amazing. There is a guy that is involved that looks just like that I hadn't known. So yeah, there might be some potential for this. I'd have to think of a
It's an
way to design
experiment.
this. I need to find a couple of other remote viewers because remote viewers alone are don't work well. You need a team effort works better.
You
So
can. We'll put a team in it. We'll split it however you want to split it.
okay.
It costs you nothing. Seriously.
Well, think of a way to do it. Like picture the token. I don't know how long I could do that.
Well, we'll
After a
try a couple
while,
ways of doing it. You know what I mean? We'll try a couple ways of doing it.
what else do you? I mean, you want to know what do you need to know in cryptos. You want to know what's the price? When's Bitcoin going to make its big run? When is it going to have its dips? You want to know is
Probably
Litecoin going to catch Bitcoin? You want to know an ICO, is it going to be a bust or a fail, or is it going to go up for a while, or what are you trying to?
maybe all of those, unless you just want to only focus on one aspect of that stuff. Like, let's
Yeah.
what's the price of Bitcoin today
Well,
versus where's it going to be in 3 months? Or
you gotta remember, remote viewers aren't omniscient. I'm just a guy. I'm just
oh, I
Dick
know.
Allgire. I'm a TV reporter, and I have moments of once in a while I can shine kind of bright, and I can do it once in a while if the and my motivation has never been money. I don't know. I've done work for money, but I have a sense that if you start dangling a lot of money in front of a remote viewer, they might there's the universe might slap them down.
Yeah, my thoughts on that are, at least for myself, or with anyone that I ever want to work with or do anything with, is that it's not, a greedy, get rich, greedy kind of thing. It's more or less, I really want people to get out of debt. I want to get I've only got my house left. Everything else is paid off. I could pay my house off right now with cryptos. I don't want to waste them, so to speak, to do that, because I feel like I know
Yeah.
where they're going to go in the future. But everybody around me, my YouTube viewers, everybody, I'm like, guys, I want to get you all out of debt. I want to teach you these things and, show you which ones I'm getting in. And, I've got some good picks so far, so let's hope I can keep doing that in 2018 and get everybody out of debt. I want good intent behind this, not, get rich and be a jerk. You know what I mean?
Okay, free advice. Let me get some free advice. Someone outside of Hawaii, who I trust, I gave them a check. They're going to buy some Ripple for me. How do I get a Ripple wallet to put that in? What's a Ripple wallet that I can use in Hawaii? What would you suggest?
I'll have to look on
I,
as far as wallets
okay,
go. Let's see.
I've got a Trezor, and I've got an account on. Well, I've got an Exodus, but I don't think Exodus takes. You don't have
Yeah.
Ripple.
Um,
You and Cliff don't like Ripple.
Let me see something on that. Yeah, and my reason for not liking Ripple isn't because Ripple can't make somebody some money. It's just
It's
kind of a
bankers.
bankster. It's a bankster
Yeah.
coin, and I feel like, a big F you to the banksters. Um, is my only real reason. It's really the only real reason. And it's on a lot of different exchanges. Gosh, it's on almost every
I
freaking
don't need to
exchange.
buy it. I just need to store it.
Yeah,
I
so
just
you're
need
gonna
to have
want to.
someone transmit it to me. So
Yeah, let's see what they
I
offer.
think I was on GateHub.
Yeah, that's Gate.io maybe, or you talking about an exchange or something else?
Yeah. I'm I just need somebody on an exchange is going to buy it on my behalf and transmit it to me. So I just need a wallet that can accept it. I'll
Yeah,
figure it out.
there's a few. There's actually, let's see, about 5 different wallets. Let's see, Ripple exchanges. Yep. And the wallets. Let's see. Nano Ledger S. So that little device I showed you.
Oh, get a ledger.
You know what? Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pretend like I'm whispering in your ear, even though you can hear it perfect. I've got about 5 in my closet, brand new, never touched. I'm gonna send you one in the mail.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I'll pay you for it.
no, it's all
The
good, free of charge. Let,
um
let me just make sure. I'm gonna plug mine in real quick. I was messing around in there just the other day because, believe it or not, I've got what has been labeled America's #1 psychic,
no,
top 10 in the
no. That
world.
who's that? You know him?
Her, I know her. She's coming on my
you
shows for the
I
first
saw your
time.
web yeah, I saw your
This,
webcast on that. Made a
this lady's
prediction. I would
unbelievable.
like to know how she did that. And
That's what I want to know. Where did that come from? Because she told my friend while she's giving somebody else a reading, stop. Spirit just said, I need you to tell Pete, when we're done, have Pete call me. I need to tell him something. And then she continued, and then they hung up or whatever. Pete calls her. He said, Joe, she's never, ever, ever done that. And I've been using her for like 7 years now. And she's been 100% accurate with me forever. And I've never had to like call her like, hey, call me. So he's like,
well,
I was really interested. and seeing what she had to say. And the first words out of her mouth, which when I hang up, when I stop recording, I'll go ahead and tell you, was such and such coins will make you rich. Such and such coins, good coin.
Well,
And
let's get her involved in the little project of
I think
remote.
she might be interested because she's got that ability. It's unbelievable. And if she's willing to do like what you say, where you tell the psychic, hey, I know you don't want to do it this way, but if you're willing to do this remote viewing, you might be epic.
Well, yeah. It takes a long time to train to learn how to remote view, but you could just, we could just pose questions to her like, does she get visual imagery? Could she draw a token? Could she sense gross gestalts, like the gestalt of a complex, noisy, machinery-laden place as opposed to a natural place? Maybe she doesn't need to do any of that if she just called a coin on a hunch. I believe it. I believe her. That's
And
some
she's never
people
done
can
it
do.
before, but it was enough that she told my buddy Pete, she's, complete noob in cryptos, of course,
Yeah.
just got started. Pete, I want this coin too. I need you to help me. But she says it's kind of the same thing. A lot of these psychics are kind of what you just alluded to a minute ago, that, we can't do this for financial gain. Like, we have a gift. We're here to help people, but we can't go out and try to make ourselves rich. And I sent her some Nano Ledger S's, hardware wallets, because I don't want her screwing around on the internet and downloading the software and not knowing what she's doing. Let me give you a hardware wallet like this one I just showed you, which, by the way, I'm going to switch my screen for you to see real quick. That right here is Ripple, and that means the Nano Ledger S does, in fact, accept it. You are good to go.
Oh, okay. So that's all. That's what I need.
Yep, and I've got about 4 left, brand new, unwrapped, completely wrapped in my closet. So when we hang up, I'll get your address and I'll ship it out immediately. And I'll show you how to use it too.
Bitcoin is getting back up towards 11 as we record this on
What's it at right now?
1068.
Yep.
So it's gonna go up to 12. I think 12, not 13. That's my. It was over 11.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
11.7.
I can't believe I'm now looking at. For a while, I was sitting there with my wallet open while I was working, and that'll drive you crazy.
Oh yeah.
You're past that now.
Oh well,
But
yeah. Especially you getting up here and then it's down here and then, like I wish I would have talked to you a month ago. I'd hate to see you spend 10, 20, 30% higher on anything. I'd have just helped you for free and like I'll make it happen for you here. And by the way, I still got those wallets since December sitting in there. The psychic lady, I gave her 3, one for her coworker, and then which is her manager, and then somebody else, maybe her husband. And I might actually be visiting them in the near future to just do it in person because they, we may set something like that up. Not really sure, but of course I got, Skype and that kind of thing to show them too. But anyways, I've got 4, and then I've got this one already opened, which I'll be keeping. But I also have the Trezor, but I don't know that the Trezor can do Ripple.
no, it can't.
This
It
one
can't.
can. So you're in
Yeah.
luck. But the only thing I don't like about these nanos, and it's kind of okay anyways, is that when you go into there, that little thing that little screenshot I just showed you, you can only put about 3, 4, maybe 5, depending on which wallet you choose, to have loaded at any given time. You try to add the other ones, it's like, sorry, you're out of space. The good news is that if you remove them, like, oh, I need to add Ripple, but my thing says it's out of space. Let me take off Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then you go ahead and add Ripple. The good news is that you can go back and add those 2 later and get rid of Ripple, and all your stuff's still there.
See, I don't understand this enough. If I have a wallet with my Bitcoin on it, I'm not about to take that off.
You can, because your private key and everything stays with the hardware device. So even though you remove the wallet, it's just software you removed. The second you put it right back on, all your stuff's sitting there waiting on you.
Oh, okay. See, I'm still. Yeah.
That's with the Trezor. I mean, yeah, the Nano Ledger S.
Let me tell you my experience with the Trezor. I got it on, loaded it on, and I was using Safari, which is the Mac.
Yep.
You can't do it. You can't do it with Safari. I had Safari loaded as my default browser.
Yeah, you need Chrome, right?
I got Chrome. So I got Chrome, and I got the Chrome Trezor extension. a significant amount of money's worth of Bitcoin, put it in my Trezor wallet, and there it was. Okay, so okay, took it out. So
Yeah.
I want to show my wife. So I go, all right, let me show you how to do this, because she gave me the money, and I plugged the thing in, and my wallet comes up, and every time I tried to click on my wallet, it would open a window and it would give me the instructions. It looped me back to something, wouldn't show me my money, and I kept doing that and doing that. And what it was doing was defaulting to Safari.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't know it because a new window opened, and I didn't look up and see that. Finally, I looked up on the menu and saw, because the windows looked identical. I go, well, this is my Trezor, but it just loops me back. And I finally figured out, oh, it's going to Safari. It took me 2 hours of just pulling my hair out, screaming, going, my God, I've lost X thousands of dollars. And I finally set my Chrome to default and shut off Safari, and then it allowed me to open it. But I was trying to get a hold of support. So there's a lot of little things like this you've got to learn.
Sure.
And it's
Yeah,
stressful when you're doing many thousands of dollars.
Oh, let me tell you, Litecoin just came out. Well, not Litecoin, but somebody decided to take the Litecoin code and make, fork it, so to speak, to Litecoin Cash. You probably heard about that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've got a decent amount of Litecoin. And when I'm sitting here, as much as I do this all the time, in order for me to move my Litecoin over to a separate wallet that I was going to use for the Litecoin Cash after it was done forking, then you move it back, I was sweating a little bit. Like, wow, I've never moved that much money at one time. Like, I'm kind of scared. Let me send one Litecoin over. All right, it worked, of course. All right, here goes the rest. Oh, boy, then it shows up. Oh, phew. And then sending it back was the same way. Because it's a substantial amount of money when you've made 10 times, 20 times, 30 times your money in some of these things. It's like, whoa. It becomes a lot of money, so it's scary, but you don't want to give it away to someone on accident,
I sent all of my Bitcoin to my wallet, and I didn't know that I had to refresh it or something. It was still updating something, but my coin didn't show up, and it took like a couple, 2-3 hours. And I was just, oh my God, what have I done?
Yeah, it might have been when it was a super, super busy network.
Yeah.
Especially
I
with
went to the
Bitcoin.
chiropractor a week and a half ago, and I told my chiropractor I'm into Bitcoin. He goes, oh, I got to get into that. That's the yeah. And he was, and he said, the guy in the office across the hall is totally into Bitcoin. He is like really a crypto, real knowledgeable. And I said, oh, I want to talk to him. And so I went and met the guy, and it was a Honolulu businessman that owned a couple places in Waikiki. And I said, yeah, I just sent like $500 to Costa Rica, and I was sweating bullets. And then I went up to Safeway with X number of thousands.
I can't believe you didn't get scammed. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
That's like, normally local Bitcoins is local. Like when you met the person in the coffee shop or whatever.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Well,
like,
okay.
That's scary, but at least it worked for you.
It did. So anyway, I talked. This guy said, well, here's my experience. My first buy, I walked into a bank with $400,000 and wired it. I went, you did? He goes, yeah, I did. Last summer. I'm a multimillionaire.
Guaranteed.
Yep.
Guaranteed. Last summer, that's all you had to say.
Well, he said, I'm not quite a multimillionaire anymore, because this was when it had dropped. What did it drop down to? 8,000, 6,000?
It got down to 6.
Yeah, I had just bought some at 10, so I was going, interesting idea I had, but I trust that it's going to. Somebody told me Bitcoin will be the unit of transaction between large corporations and settlement of debt between nations.
I believe that too.
And I said, if there's only 72 million of them, they would have to be worth a lot. And he said,
well, there's 20 of Bitcoin. There's
21 million. Yeah, 21. But some of them have been lost, so there'll be
quite a bit less.
Do you put your ledger in a safety deposit box, or no? Is that a no?
No, I just hang on to it, because here's the thing: when you get this device,
I mean, not your ledger, but your seed,
Yeah, so yeah, you print it out, and part of it on this one you don't print it. This one it comes across the screen, and you have these up and down arrows you press, and then when you want to hit like enter, you press both at the same time. So it'll when you first set it up, it goes through that whole thing.
Well,
And
yeah,
it
it
says
goes through a
here's your
list, and
seed.
you write those down on paper.
I put that on paper and I freaking laminate it, and I do it twice. I take one to one location away from my house, and I keep one in a nice hidden spot in my house. But I don't put it in the bank, because if something happens to this, you can go get another one,
Yeah.
and then import your specific seed, and then you're good to go, anywhere in the world.
If there's a run on the banks, they'll close the bank. You won't be able to get it
Yeah,
out.
I wouldn't want my stuff. I wouldn't want to even store it there.
Yep.
Although, I mean, yeah, it wouldn't harm you to put that paper in a safety deposit box. Honestly, it's a piece of paper over there, and you're gonna have a second paper somewhere else.
But if somebody from the bank broke in
Yes,
and copied that,
and happen to know what it was. Yes, you'd be in trouble.
well, I more and more. If you saw a list of 24 words on a piece of paper,
The average person's not gonna know what the hell that is.
yeah, the average person wouldn't, but more and more people are going to know.
They will.
I mean, 5 years from now, I bet a lot more.
Yeah, I would agree. Now, one thing that I've done is there's a free program on the internet called WinRAR. It's for zipping and unzipping files, and the one I use is called WinRAR. There's other versions, different ones like a WinZip and other ones, whatever. But I use WinRAR. It's free. If you don't pay for it, it just nags you when it pops up. Hey, buy us someday. Okay, never mind. Get on my face, and then you just use it. But when you add a file to it, so what I'll do is I'll open a text file, put those seed words in there, save the text file, and then put it on inside that zip file. So I'll say right click my text file, say create a new zip file out of this, and when I do that, there's an option that says set password. Click set password, create a password.
Okay,
Now you've got the zip file that contains your text file inside of it, and it's password protected. And you make a nice long password. Now you better not forget that password, or you're never going to get into it.
yeah,
But I've got the paper backup. I've got my USB device backup. Matter of fact, I've got two USB devices. Again, one
what
off
if
location.
somebody has hacked your computer and is?
You never store it on the computer ever.
But what if they're keeping your keystrokes, logging your keystrokes while you do that? I mean,
If they happen to do it while you're doing it, you've been had.
yeah. Yeah, I was told never take a picture of it with your iPhone, never transmit it, never put it on your computer. I just wrote it.
Yeah, so you could theoretically do that. Now, if you had a brand new laptop or one of these little cheap $150 laptops, hell, you can even get those little mini 10-inch ones for like $99. It's brand new. You just go download the thing first as soon as you get it. Download WinRAR or whatever, and you do it like that. You'd be completely safe. But on a computer you've been using for a really long time, and yeah, you do risk them, getting that seed code.
Yeah, buy a cheap computer just to do your stuff.
Right.
On.
I mean, we're not talking. I've got a few $100s. It's like you've got a substantial amount of money. Buy a freaking extra laptop for $100, $150, even whatever, $200. This is life savings on the line here. People are like, well, I don't want to spend 100. Just do it just for this purpose. It can't hurt you. Especially if you just get the thing. You download that WinRAR program kind of a thing, and then you put it on there, and it's password protected. But again, don't forget your password.
What? So they call them shit coins. These are people just make up, like, I'm going to make Dick coin, and I can write code, and I can okay, I'm going to have a release of my coin, my ICO. Everybody buy it.
Yep.
And there's going to be a lot of those, more and more of those coming up, and
just like everything else.
But you want to buy one for which there's some function to.
Right. It needs to really do something. Like, oh, what does this do? Oh, it's a really good utility token because it does this. Oh, okay. Makes sense.
But you'd put some money in if you just felt it was going to go up. Just get in and out, right?
No.
Was it you that?
I don't do that.
One of the guys.
If it's a shit coin, I don't even think I want to play that game. Even if I think it's going to go up, I don't even want to play the game because it's just a shit coin. And usually it's going to be me coming out here telling everybody, hey guys, I'm getting into this ICO or whatever. I want it to be around. I want it to do well. Because if it's a shit coin, it might pump and dump, but it may not pump that much. Whereas if you put that money into a real solid project and then you sit on the thing, hodling, as we say, it could go 10, 15, 20 times if you're just patient, rather than get your little 2 or 3 time flip and get out. Which, I mean, again, most people are like, well, we don't care. I want it in and out. But I just have a hard time buying a shit coin just for that pump and dump reason. I want to try to be as ethical and as, as good as possible
Yeah.
while I do this.
Yeah.
There's so
Well,
many, and there's so many good ones. It's just like you're not gonna have a hard time picking some of these, especially if we end up doing something like trying this remote viewing stuff on some of these, and it actually works, kind of like the futures or whatever. We've figured out a way to do this. This could be incredible. Who cares about the shit coins? We could. I mean, you got the top 100 on Coin Market Cap. These are big, big, big dollar coins, all 100. Well, you got the next page with the next 100 coins, 200 coins. There's like smorgasbord of coins to pick, technically speaking, but I think some of them are going to go insanely high. So that would be some of the ones I'd probably focus on first to see what kind of stuff you get out of it.
do you move your assets back and forth? Like, oh, today I have a good feeling for Litecoin, so I'm going to move some Bitcoin into Litecoin. Or do you just get a set amount and let it ride?
Well, like with Litecoin, I think it's going to be in the thousands. That psychic lady, FYI, everyone listening, you're going to hear this tomorrow too. Litecoin will be in the thousands,
Okay.
according to her, and that's also what we've thought for a long time now. You got that too?
Yeah. I saw that logo. Yeah, I have a feeling about like I have some Litecoin.
So in that case, I want to keep stacking Litecoin, but I also don't want to miss out on other stuff. So I don't take Litecoin and like trade it per se. But sometimes I get to a point like fairly recently, I'm like, okay, I don't want to dig into my bank account. I've got so much freaking crypto right now. Let me just scrape some off of these, and then all right, I've scraped some, but then it's like, wait a minute, I'm talking to the psychic lady. She's giving me this incredible coin. Allegedly, we're about to find out anyways. I'm taking a chance, and I've dumped some serious money into it just because I'm that kind of guy. I don't care if psychic or not. I don't deal with that crap of it's fake. No, it isn't. I believe in it. My mom's psychic. I'm gonna listen to her and I'm gonna go for it. So now I need to scrape some more. So I actually sold a little bit of my Litecoin off, and I feel like you got to pry that stuff from my cold dead hands normally. But I was willing to take a little bit of that off of there, just a little bit, to put into this thing because I believe in it. We're gonna see, but I don't play the move it over here Litecoin. If it's basically wow, Litecoin got hit hard today, let me grab some more. Let me grab some more of those. But I'm not selling, like trying to play the market with those things. But I will play the market on some of these altcoins from time to time. But mostly, like 80%, I'd say I'm kind of a hodler. Buy and hold. Big dip comes, get some cash, get some more, and get back into some of those other ones. Like I'll look at the coin market cap, for example. Let me put it on the screen. And let me switch this. I'll just, like on a bad day, I'll do this. Sort by that. Here's all the ones that are going up. You can look at that. But I'll go and do it the opposite. Which are the hardest hit? And like, back on February 6th was when we had $6,000 Bitcoin. So I was in here right around that time. I think I was doing a couple videos a couple of days before that too, I think. And I'm like, guys, this one, whatever it was, this one's down 38%. This one's down 40%. That one's down 38%. I'm buying this one, and this one. Why? Because I already know the coins. These are solid coins, and they just got monkey hammered. Within a few days, they were already back up 40%. So I just made 40% in a matter of a few days because I saw how hard they were hit, and I believed in the coins. I knew what the coins were. And I'm like, these aren't shit coins. These are decent coins that for whatever reason, people got spooked out of them. I went to hell, said to hell with this, I'm going in. So I went to where some of the hardest ones were hit and bought them. But if I would have saw some of these coins, Singularity Net, R-Chain, I wasn't into these. Dragon Chain, Smart Cat, I wasn't. If I saw those, I probably wouldn't have got into it because I just didn't, I'm not really following those. But I'm talking coins that everybody knows. And I'm like, guys, these coins. They're getting smashed right now. I am buying. And I did a video. I'm buying this one, this one, this one. I bought 6 of them. I'm going in today. And within a few days, they were all doing great again. From the down point, anyways, they were doing great. So I'll play moves like that, but I didn't sell any. I've been sitting on them still since 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and I want to ride those up too. And I have a sneaky suspicion this one is going to do really, really well in the very near future. This Dent coin, I'm almost certain of it actually, and I'm going to tell everybody right now who's listening. There's another coin on this screen that the psychic lady says will do good, and you're gonna hear about it tomorrow. Everybody else, there's a few you'll hear about tomorrow. So we'll discuss that with her. But that's kind of funny how out of nowhere this guy Pete's calling me because he needs help getting this one particular coin, this one that she thinks is gonna do really good. And he's like, "Oh, I need, they need help too." I'm like, "I'll do it for free. Just put me in touch with them." So now I've got like America's #1 psychic, top 10 in the world, coming on my show tomorrow, and I'm like completely psyched out of my mind about it. And then Cliff High emails me, "Hey, you need to talk to Dick." Now I got you on the day before. I got her tomorrow. This is epic.
Well,
So,
yeah, Cliff was moving, and I did this as a test, and so I sent a couple of sketches to Cliff saying, "I wonder if this is anything to this here. I just want to." Sometimes I do things just to put them on the record.
yeah.
Um,
And I can
yeah.
kind of scan CoinMarketCap to even look through there. I may need to look a little deeper, just to kind of see. I'm actually peeking at the coin that she gave. What does that symbol look like? That's not the DNA symbol by chance, is it? Not quite, actually, no. But yeah, I mean, I'll kind of scan too after I probably hang up with you just to see if I find anything that's kind of like that little DNA thing. But it'll be interesting to see. I mean, Steam. It's not like the DNA, but matter of fact, if you want to just share the screen again, not exactly the DNA symbol over here on the left, but it's got the three little. See the lines over here?
Oh, wait, I don't see it.
Where it says Steam.
Oh.
This little symbol. Not
No,
exactly what
I
you draw.
just see TEEM. So.
Oh, is it not like it's cut off? Is that
Let
better?
me. Oh, yeah.
Symbol?
Well, no. I saw the word DNA.
Oh,
I mean,
oh.
I saw the DNA strand, and the term DNA came to me. That I said that's DNA. So.
Got you. Okay.
So
Well,
we'll see.
you never know. My people, man, they may, my subscribers may, Joe, I think I found it. Then they'll send it to me and I'll send it to you. Dick, I think we got it. What do you think?
Yeah.
So,
Well, it could make news because it could be the first crypto to go to zero. I guess it wouldn't be the first, but you never know.
yeah,
I could be wrong.
something about it. Yeah. But now let me ask you that. How did that one come to you? Like the psychic lady, so you can meditate and do her prayer meditation, as they call it,
Yeah.
and things just come. So
I did a meditation. I did what I call a cool down, and there's a protocol in remote viewing we call it's a way to get your mind right. And I did that, and I saw a coin with the DNA symbol on it, and I went, that's the word DNA just came to me. So it just popped into my head.
So it wasn't necessarily the symbol, but DNA came to you. Boom.
No. I saw the intertwined.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw a round shape with the intertwined.
And how do you
line.
know it was crypto related, though?
Well, I was setting my intent. I said, I want to see a crypto that's going to be a big performer. That was my intent. Okay. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to get my mind right, and I'm going to see the symbol of a high performing crypto that will be a big payoff. And I saw that, and I went, I know what that was, and I wrote it, and then I said, the word DNA popped into my mind. DNA.
Interesting. Well, people, and he said he has a couple more. He's got to keep hush hush for now, but you guys heard him. Be on the lookout and contact your best friend Jason Ipforer if you find it.
I make no promises. I could be a complete. You might have me on and go, geez, these guys bought that at $1.50 and it went down to 10 cents, and they hate you. So.
Yeah, disclaimer. He's already said it. He's not perfect. He's not had a 100% track record. He's got some things wrong, but man, has he got some incredible things right.
I just did a
worth listening
project.
to.
I just did a project for Courtney Brown 2 months ago, and I failed. I I'm not going to be on the project. I tried 6 different times and I didn't get the target. I still don't know what the target is, but it can happen. You have bad days.
So on a project like that, I guess it already ended. Well, you say you tried six different times.
It's going to come out with other viewers being presented. I won't be part of the
Hmm.
presentation.
Okay.
I didn't get paid. I had to drop out. You get frustrated after a while. Your conscious mind, you get
Flustered or
like
whatever.
shy. You're too spooked by it. Like, okay, I tried it, and he said, I think you're just going to harm yourself if you keep doing. Okay, sometimes it happens. I know the guy that taught me was in a top secret military unit for special forces intelligence, and they would get a target and they would sit at a desk with a overhead camera where an analyst could see what they were writing, and they would have a green light and a red light, and they would get to a point called S3 where they do a certain number of pages, and then the green light would go on. It would be like continue. If the red light went on, that meant stop, go get a cup of coffee, go clear your head, you're off, don't bother anymore. We don't want to know that. So you can be right or wrong. And a lot of it's the design of the way you design the target. What do you want to know? We did work Y2K. Were you around for
Yep. Oh yeah.
Y2K?
Yeah, I remember.
Um, we all wanted to know, well, what is Y2K going to be a problem? How would you remote view that? What's a remote viewing target would tell you Y2K? Well, you remote view the Honolulu airport on January 4th, 2001. Is it still running? The local supermarket, are the shelves bare or are people, there's different ways to skin a cat and there's different ways to do remote viewing. So what I need to do is think of ways that you could systematically and under protocols, task a remote viewer to get the information that you want. So I'm gonna think about that and
Yeah,
work on it.
do that. And if you want to get the other two or three people involved too, like you said, what the hell? Let's see what happens. Let's give it a shot. Down
Yeah.
for whatever. I'm down to try it. I love the woo woo stuff. Cliff High, man. I love this kind of stuff. It's awesome.
What I can send you for that wallet is I'll send you a either a video link or do you still use DVDs? I'll give you the
Yeah,
first
I have DVDs.
training instruction tape.
Yeah, okay.
So you can understand remote viewing. I have a video. It's yeah, we'll exchange addresses. I'll find a way to send that to you, and you can look at it and try it for yourself.
Okay.
I teach students. They kind of show up at my door, like someone who shows an interest. And there was one guy in Canada, one young kid that just sent me an email asking me a question, like, "Well, when you do this," and I answered him, and then he asked me another question, and he seemed truly interested. So I said, "Hey, get on Skype with me. I'll give you a lesson." And I taught him. He turned into a student, has done some pretty good work. So I don't actively market myself as a trainer, but I may in the future.
Well, you've been doing it
But
long enough.
I have a tape I can show you. I have a video I made. It'll explain how it works. And if we were to ever do a remote viewing cryptos, it'd be something you'd want to know anyway. So
Yeah.
I'll send it to you. Interesting world. Now that I think about it, think of this. How strange this is going to seem to people. That someday you will tell people, and they will barely believe this, that you had a thing called an ATM where they took fiat money that was pieces of paper with presidents' pictures on it,
Yep.
and they would physically take that in an armored car to a little kiosk, and they would put it in this place, and you would have a piece of plastic, and you'd put a code number in, and it would spit out actual pieces of paper with presidents on it, and you would go spend those. But every day they had to go put new pieces of
Yep.
paper in and put them up. people in the future will think
How
that
stupid.
is the most absurd thing I've ever. Why would you do that?
Yeah,
Isn't that the most ridiculous thing to be
it is.
doing?
When you think about it, yeah.
I go to Asia. I go to Thailand, and I take um, traveler's checks, the piece of paper that I write my name on, and then I go present ID and I write my name again, and then they have a little calculator. They go, oh, it's 33.6 to 1. So for $100, you get 33.6 with our transaction fee. And then they give me pieces of paper with the Thai King on it. And you go on your way and you spend that. That just seems so cumbersome and so last century.
Hmm.
It ain't going to be like that.
It's just cryptos. It's the future, and
Yeah.
it's early. It's so early still. Like the guy told you, no, you ain't late. You get in. It's 2018. Get in. You still got time.
Yeah. 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 Well,
Truly believe it.
I'm in. I believe it. And I can have a reasonably intelligent conversation with you. I wouldn't have known what to ask you 3 months ago. So,
Yeah. Well, good. Welcome to the club.
yeah, yeah.
I think
Nice
we
to
have an
talk to you.
exciting ride. Is there anything else you want to add to this conversation?
No, we'll just see where it goes from here. Maybe somebody will come up with some ideas of ways to. I need to talk to some other remote viewers and assemble a team
Yeah.
and think of a way to do this. It's always best if the viewers were blind, like really the way I'd rather do it is uh, have you contact Courtney Brown, and Courtney Brown says, Dick, I have a target for you. And I don't know if it's a project for him or a crypto for you. Is all I know is it's a target. And then the more shielded a remote viewer is, the better they can perform, and the more trusted is the product.
Okay.
Like I say, any amount of front loading is really forbidden in remote viewing. It's really not to be done. It's a shortcut. It's a bad thing. But
But you have people under you though, technically, right? That you could do, and you could probably put a phenomenal target together. I would imagine for them.
I'll think about how I might be able to do that.
I don't know.
Let me put
It's
some
your deal.
thought.
Yeah.
Let me put some thought into that, and I'll definitely watch your psychic show. When will that hit?
I'm probably gonna release it tomorrow night too. It's also 5:30 my time with her. It might go an hour, 30 minutes. I really don't know. And then I told her right about 8:00 p.m. I'll probably release it because she's gonna do a blog post for the first time talking about cryptos on her site, and we're just gonna time it to where I upload the video and then she puts it on there too. It's not it's not really long as far as the stuff
Yeah.
she says about cryptos, but I want to have a conversation about it with her and everything else, see where that goes. But, yeah, it'll be up tomorrow night by about 8:00 or so.
And she just out of the blue said this came to her, huh? Does she know you?
No,
Or
she
knows
doesn't
the
know me. I've never talked to her. When he told me her name, I knew who she was, and I'm like, oh, okay. And he's like, you really need to just talk to her. She's just amazing, and the woo woo stuff. You guys love that, and I'm like, all right, so I'll help you, and I'll help her get these coins. And next thing I know is, God, bring her on the show, get her on the show. So I'm like, all right, go ahead, get it together. So the next, that was like Sunday or Monday, and then that was it. I mean, if you've got some things you think I need to ask her, I'll take some notes right now.
There was a woman that I was helping train from Japan that I tasked something to do with Cliff High. And I had never seen Cliff High. I don't think his picture was ever out. This was 6 years ago. Yeah, 6 years ago. I knew Cliff High from the radio, but this woman did a remote viewing for Cliff that turned out to be really accurate. I remember Cliff being quite impressed at the time. We predicted some things that had to do with his life, that he was a believer. I didn't personally do the work. I was another remote viewer did, but it was pretty good.
Wow.
It was good. He'll remember that. The Japanese lady gave him some. Yeah, drew his house, drew him, described his wife, had a lot. I didn't know much about Cliff at that time, and I didn't know if it was good or not. I just looked at it and passed it along to him, and he went, "Wow, she's good," and it turned out to be pretty accurate. So, yeah, this stuff is all true. It's all um, there's a lot of charlatans. There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of, but there's an underlying truth to it, and I've never really tried to hype myself as like, hey, I'll show you your true path in life, or I'll show you how to make money. I've always tried to stay away from that. So I'm a little hesitant to even have this conversation. But because I'm into cryptos, it's interesting. It's interesting to me. God, there's a chart going up. I gotta stop looking at it.
What is it? What you looking at?
Oh, what was it? Oh no, it was Litecoin. Let's see.
Is it popping right now?
Oh, it's doing all right. It's at 217.
Yeah. Yeah. Where are you looking at your charts at?
Oh, do I need to refresh? I'm at coingecko.com. Wait.
Oh. Yeah, I go to a nice one that's like live where you can kind of manipulate a little bit is tradingview.com. It is free. They have a paid one. You know, if you want to become a pro and draw stuff and all, you don't have to do that. But tradingview.com is a good one.
I had my Exodus wallet open for a couple days on my computer while I was working in. I'd see it change, like, oh, I have this.
Oh, yeah, it's constantly updating.
Yeah, it's constantly updating. That'll drive you nuts. You got to.
It will, especially when you start to, get to a point where you got a pretty significant amount. Because usually everyone starts off small, and but then you're like, oh wow, that movement, just moved, a few $1,000s. Oh, it's back down a few $1,000s. Back up a few $1,000s. You're like,
yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Well, I collect Martin guitars. I'm a guitar player, so I would have my wallet open and go, I can go buy a new guitar. Then
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I can't. Yes, I can.
Yep.
I better not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't sold any yet, so I still haven't. That's a whole other thing to have to learn is how to.
When was it Kenny Loggins? You got to know when to hold, know when to sell them.
Yeah.
You got to know, and that's one of the things that psychic lady said that She said don't be greedy. When it goes up and you make your little fortune, sell. Don't be greedy. And I get it.
Well, the corollary to that is my Korean wife said, you've got to be bold. Don't be chicken. I mean, if you're going to put some money in, put some money in.
Yeah.
That's what my wife said. I'm not a gambler.
And I believe it or not, I'm not either, but I just felt like it hit, this is it. I know that. And people on my YouTube channel in the beginning, Joe, stop talking about that crap. It's a Ponzi, it's this, it's that, it's fake, it's going away. Get back to the new stuff. I'm like, no, I'm shoving this down your throat. You don't like it, leave. I'm going to keep going. And some of them thank me later. Man, I'm glad you kept talking about it because I finally got in a few months ago, and man, it's looking good. I just felt like this is it.
Yeah, cryptos aren't going away. They'll change, but they're not going to go away.
Right.
I mean, this is the... somebody sat me down and said, the decision has been made that the world is going to use digital cash. This is going to happen. The banking system is going to change. Fiat money, paper money, it's going away, and they're just transitioning it as orderly as possible. So if you get into this,
and did you know about the 1988 Economist magazine cover? You've heard about that?
No.
Okay. I think I have it sitting on my desktop. Let me switch screens again and zoom in. All right.
Oh.
Get ready for a world currency. Look at this little zero, that digital zero, right?
Yeah.
10. It's a gold coin around the Phoenix, right?
Uh-huh.
Phoenix is rising from the ashes of a bunch of different countries' currencies, paper dollars. And you have this digital zero. And I was able to find this is from 1988, by the way. 30 years ago.
1988.
1988. Get ready for a world currency. And they even say, again, 2018, I found the article online. And
wow.
I've read it to my people on YouTube. and it talks about essentially get ready for this thing coming. We'll just call it the Phoenix coin. So we pencil in the Phoenix coin for right around the year 2018.
Strange how that happens, isn't it? What a coincidence.
Yeah.
They
Pure
tell us
coincidence.
what they're going to do.
In advance every time.
They do. They
And we
tell
have a
us
time.
what
That's
they're
what I try to tell people. Even if well, this is going to lead to New World Order, one world currency. Look, if that's coming and that's the plan, there ain't nothing you're going to do to stop it. But if you have an opportunity while this train's going by to just stick your hand out and grab a pinch or two of these things falling off the train known as cryptocurrencies, grab as many as you can while you can. Get your freaking life out of debt. Get your cars paid off. I got people emailing me, Joe, I followed you early on last year. Dude, I just paid my house off. Joe, I just paid my cars off. I said, that's the name of the game. That's all I wanted to do for people. Get you out of debt, and this is that damn tool.
If you would have asked me 18 months ago, I would have said, I am completely against digital money. You can't have real money because people want to have private transactions. I mean, this is the new world order. This is evil. We've got to fight this tooth and nail. And now I realize, just grab some of it, and there will be a way to do it privately. So
I mean, they have these privacy tokens that exist, but again, it's all ultimately trackable in some way or another. But maybe not some of these privacy tokens, but it's where the future is. It's where it's going. It's just like the .com bubble or the big tech giants coming out. Who wouldn't have loved to know about Google 15 years ago, before it happened, and Amazon and all that stuff.
If you would have said 15 years ago, okay, here's how you're going to shop. You're going to look on a computer screen, and there will be any item you want to know, and there'll be a review of it, and you will have your credit card on file with that company. You'll just put your credit card number.
Ship it to your house.
First thing you would have said is, no way will I ever put my credit card number on a computer with a company. It's just not going to, no, never going to happen. And you're going to buy something by clicking a button, and it will be delivered to your door in 2 to 3 days. And that's how you shop. You would have said, I don't believe it.
And what's nice? And what's nice about things like this, blockchain technology, but mainly the wallet? We had the Equifax thing, right? They freaking got our entire information. They got our social security. I mean, everybody's hacked. Your credit card goes online in a store. They've got your credit card on file.
Yeah.
Now someone can steal it, use it. Nobody. If Amazon starts taking payment in Litecoin and other ones, and they said they're going to very soon, I can go pay for something with Litecoin right with this little device. And even though Amazon got the transaction, they're happy, and they say, yep, you've paid, and they send me my item. Nobody can hack Amazon and get this thing to issue some more of my money or my crypto. Only if they take this device from me and know my password and know everything physically from me can that happen now. So they can hack anything they want. It won't matter anymore. Thanks to blockchain.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
I'm on board.
Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this interview off. I'll stop recording. We'll just chat for a minute or two after this.
Yeah. Wow, we've been going almost 2 hours.
Almost 2 hours. That's unbelievable. Feels like it's been 30 minutes.
Well, it's interesting talking with you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm so excited about this stuff. So everybody, hope you liked the interview as much as I did. And it'll be interesting to see if we end up working together and doing something in cryptos. Who knows? But I'll keep you up to date with that. Be prepared for the psychic interview. Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. is when I'm going to record it. It'll be released at about 8 o'clock or so p.m. that same day.
I'll be watching that one.
Yeah. Take care, everybody.